Welcome to the Highlands of Scotland.
William, it's really the Highlands of Mosier.
Well, we'll tell you more next on Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time. We're on top of the Mosier Plateau in a beautiful wildflower area here in the Columbia River Gorge. And later in the show, we'll be showing you this area and other wildflower hikes in the gorge.
Also coming up on the show today, we're going to be giving you some tips on what to do with your lawn to prepare it for summer.
We'll also be showing you that powdery mildew has made an early appearance.
But coming up first, we're going to tell you how to plant that strawberry pot.
Wouldn't you love to have strawberries right out your back door on your patio or deck? I'm with Wayne at Little Baja right on Burnside, and you have a great project for us today.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to plant a strawberry jar.
So we have strawberries in a pot, and there's actually many plants in here.
Yeah, there's actually, this is a 1 gallon, and there's actually 12 in there. I got this at Portland Nursery, and you can just go up there and get yourself a lot of different varieties of the kind. This is an everbearing here. And then I have some June bearing over here.
Great. So you have a good technique. So let's start and how we're going to do this.
Well, first of all,
let's grab this up here.
We're going to take some of our, we're going to fill up the bottom of the pot with our all-purpose black gold.
That's a great soil to use. And you always want to use potting soil. You don't want to use soil from the garden. So it's always good to get a bag of soil.
And these things take quite a bit of soil.
All right, and you start at the bottom because it's easier when you fill the pockets, right?
Yeah, I'm going to just put enough in the bottom to do the bottom pockets.
All right.
We've taken our plants out of the pot and we're going to separate them here.
All right, wow, these are beautiful.
And we should have a dozen of them here.
All right, nice looking.
As we separate them out.
Okay.
And they're going to lots of root system on these.
They sure do. Yeah. And these are going to fit in each one of those little pockets, right?
Yeah, we're going to put one per pocket.
All right.
This one's probably a double, but we'll probably put that one at the top.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think some of them have grown together. Right here. There you go.
There we go.
There we go. So we're just going to take the first one here.
And so how do you fix the roots so that they're really going to explode into the soil?
I'm going to try to straighten them out as much as possible, starting at the bottom and work our way up.
All right, and then just kind of gently put it around the roots. Just
like that.
Set it in there. Here's another one.
We're just going to go around to do the bottom ones first.
Okay. So it seems like it's a pretty easy process there, Wayne.
Yeah, I think you want to make sure not to fill the pot all the way up until you get to the top.
Okay, so do it layer by layer.
Yeah, layer by layer.
All right.
We'll straighten the roots out here. Tuck them down in there. We're going to start at the next level. And this is a 9-pocket strawberry jar. We have 3s, 4s, 6s, 9s, 12s, all the way up to 20 pockets.
Well, that's a good way to do it.
So this one's got a lot of roots on that one.
And so we're up to the second level now.
Yeah.
So we added more soil in. That's coming along really nice. And it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Now these strawberry jars, or strawberry pots, some people call them, don't have to be solely used for strawberries. They can be used for herbs and flowers. I've seen some customers make really nice, my water here.
Oh, so you want to water before you plant the top?
Just a little bit here.
All right.
The problem with the strawberry jars is, since it is a funnel, it takes a little while for the water to soak all the way through, and the soil is moist too, so it's going to take a while. We got up to the top. I'm going to put in 3 at the top up here.
And then why don't you put the soil all the way to the top?
Well, we want to leave a little bit of reservoir. The biggest mistake people make with strawberry jars is filling them all the way to the top. And since they are a funnel, they require more draining time. Let's put a bigger one in there.
Want to pop those apart? They're kind of joined, but you can just tease it apart there?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I think it'll be fine. So don't be afraid to kind of pull them apart.
Apparently, yeah, it doesn't seem to bother them.
All right.
Now we got a little hole there. Stuff that in the hole. And I'll put a little more on the top
Okay.
up here. Fill it in.
All right.
And as you water, the pot will clean itself up a little bit. But we leave a little reservoir up here, and you want to be above the neck right here.
All right.
But not, if you get it too high, then when you water it, all the soil will just wash off over the top.
It'll be a big mess.
Yeah. So now you get yourself a nice little strawberry. Oh, we get 9, 10, 11, 12. We got
2 left over.
Yeah, we got 14 out of that. All right.
And so we'll be able to put this in the full sun on our patio or deck?
Yeah, I want to put this in full sun. I only water it once in the morning, let it completely dry out for the next day. And we like to fertilize once a week.
Okay.
You know, so to help them kind of perk up a little bit.
And come strawberry time, it's going to be filled with strawberries right out our back door.
Right. As you can see, we got several planted up. And we even have some from last year that keep coming back every year.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
If you need any more information about how to get to Little Baja or any information about this project, you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over to their website. It's a great project for you for this springtime. You can have strawberries right out your back door.
So we are standing by a 9-bark which has a lot of powdery mildew right now. Generally, powdery mildew isn't that big of a problem for us until the fall, and we always tend to see it on our zucchini leaves. But this spring has given us the perfect weather for it, which is a cool, moist evening and nighttime with really hot daytime temperatures.
So if you notice it on a plant and there's just a few leaves, what you could do is just pick them off and just make sure that you throw them in the trash. Don't throw them in your compost pile because it'll infect the whole compost and it'll spread that disease. Powdery mildew is a spore, as you can see on these leaves. It looks like powdered sugar. And if there's too many leaves that you can't pick off, there are some other controls that you could use. These chemicals from Bonide are some different kind of chemical controls. If it's a small area, you can use this ready-to-use spray, and if it's a larger area, you can use these concentrates. You can also go to your independent garden center and get more information about these chemicals.
And if you don't want to use a synthetic or a chemical, you can always use neem oil. Neem oil is a great product that takes care of all kinds of fungal issues, including powdery mildew. But do remember that once it is on the leaf, that leaf is probably never going to be healthy and beautiful again, because just like our skin, it tends to hold whatever happens to it for the rest of our lives. Those will do the same thing. But if you catch it soon enough, spray it really well, get rid of all of it, the new stuff will be protected and you won't have to worry about it.
So take a walk through your garden and check and see if any of your plants have that powdery mildew, and make sure that you control it either by picking it off or using some kind of control.
Success in the garden starts with the right plant in the right place. Farmington Gardens can help you succeed in planting and selecting for any corner of your garden. Spring is a fantastic time of year. Colorful, fresh, fragrant. And Farmington Gardens will help you revitalize your garden. So let's get started. We're here to help. Open every day and just a short drive out Farmington Road. Farmington Gardens. We're growing for you.
Cultivate your desire to learn. Give your learning deeper roots with Garden University at the Oregon Garden. Join us for a variety of lectures, demonstrations, and workshops hosted by experts in the field.
Learn about the life cycle and preservation of monarch butterflies and the milkweed they depend on. You'll also get tips on building a monarch-friendly garden in your yard.
Help your garden and your mind grow through Garden University at the Oregon Garden. Contact the Oregon Garden for more information or visit oregongarden.org.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier and Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
DRAM is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. DRAM products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. DRAM for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terra Casa. Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside, there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terra Casa has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terra Casa.
Terra Casa in downtown Damascus.
It's the middle of April and I'm out at Adelman Peony Gardens with Carol. And Carol, we're never out here talking to you this early in the season. So what's going on?
Well, we had a mild winter and we had this really warm temperatures here, and the flowers decided there's sunshine, it's time to bloom.
But this isn't the herbaceous peonies that we always talk about. So what is this peony?
No, this is a tree peony. It's a lutea hybrid tree peony. This one in particular is called Hephaestus, the god of fire.
Oh, yeah, I can see.
And the tree peonies are different than the bush peonies in that they have woody stems, so like a blueberry bush. And you don't prune them down in the winter. You just leave them go through the winter, and when springtime comes and you can see where the leaves are coming out, if there's dead wood on there, then you can trim that out.
Oh, just a little bit of maintenance then.
And they take the same tulip daffodil fertilizer, low nitrogen fertilizer that the bush peonies do.
And you want to do that probably right after bloom time, just to kind of re-energize them?
Yes, or anytime when you're going to get some rain or watering to water the fertilizer into the soil.
So these blooms are just enormous. I think they're at least 6-7 inches. So is this kind of a normal size for a tree peony?
Yes, it is. Yes.
And you can see my hand just kind of doesn't even cover the whole thing. It's just so gorgeous. And what kind of colors would they be coming in? The same kind of coloring as the regular bush peonies?
I'd say the whites are a little bit more rare, but there's pink and the orangey rust colors and lavenders and purples.
Ah, they're just gorgeous. Carol, these are beautiful peonies, and so are the herbaceous, but what are the big differences?
The big difference is that these have woody stems that don't die to the ground, and you don't prune them in the fall, and they do lose their leaves in the fall, just like the herbaceous peonies do.
Carol, the display garden looks really beautiful, and these tree peonies are such a treat, but you're really not open this early of the year, are you?
No, they surprised us and bloomed early. We'll be open in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have potted tree peonies available for people.
Ooh, that's really a good tip. So, go to thegardentime.tv and we'll click you over to the Adelman website so you can find out exactly where they are and also when they're going to be opening, so you can maybe get one of these for your garden for this year. Thanks so much, Carol. Thanks a lot. For the tip of the week, we have a great way to exclude cats from your raised beds. We just made this raised bed nice and fresh for the season with fresh new soil, and there's already kitty prints.
Now, one of the ways that you can do that is to buy this like bird netting, and it protects, vegetables and fruit. You stretch it over the bed. The problem with this, though, is you really have to pay attention to when the plants start to grow, because if they get too big, you're going to tear them up as you take this off.
So we have another way that's a little bit easier. You just need push pins and some kind of line. We're using jute here. We've put the push pins in intervals on the wood, and all you have to do is kind of stretch it across and zigzag it.
Now, one of the other things you can use is this monofilament line or fishing wire, and that you can put on, do the same system. Now, the benefit of this is you can take it off and use it year after year. However, some people would like something more natural, like the jute.
This way, once your plants are growing up and the cats aren't going to be bothering it, you could just take it up and it's not unsightly.
So protecting your raised beds from neighborhood pets or your own, that's our tip of the week.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Based on reviews, I found Capital. It was an excellent experience. I felt very comfortable, especially being a single woman.
Take on just about anything this spring in the new 2016 Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid CVT, the most fuel-efficient all-wheel drive hybrid crossover in America. Lease just $199 per month at Capital.
When I hear stories from other people about car buying experiences, they're horror stories. And mine, I just left with a big smile, and I've been smiling ever since. I got it my way on the Parkway.
At French Prairie Perennials, we take pride at being different. From rare, unique, and unusual plant material and handcrafted garden art to our visualscaping program, we can help you create an outdoor living space as unique as you are. Our gift shop has home and garden decor and gifts for all occasions. Visit us at our new location in Aurora, a quick drive from Portland off I-5. French Prairie Perennials. Outdoor living elevated.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years, with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Locally grown, fresh from the farm, stylish and sustainable, your dream yard starts at Owl's Garden Center. Create an inviting gathering place for family and friends with a new patio furniture collection. Our beautiful furniture transforms any outdoor space, large or small. It's like having an extra room outdoors. Then add impact with colorful pottery. Hundreds of unique designs and sizes, all on sale now. Owl's Garden Centers in Woodburn, Sherwood, and Gresham.
So I am sitting in the beautiful Oregon garden, and I'm here with Dylan. And Dylan, you know, when I think of the gardens, I always think of plants, because that's really what it's so much about. But you guys really look at the bigger picture of the ecology of gardening too. So you're going to talk with me today about the monarch butterfly.
That's correct. The monarch butterfly has been in decline for quite a few years now, and actually since the 1990s we've lost almost 1 billion butterflies, monarch butterflies, and that's a 90% decrease in that time.
Wow. And we know that that's true because they're not just guessing. There's been so much study on this beautiful creature to make sure, so we know what's happening to it.
That's right. They actually track them. They put little stickers on their wings because, as you know, monarchs migrate on the West Coast. They migrate down to California to overwinter, and so they know how many there are and where they're going.
And so what is, because I was raised on, you know, Star Trek and X-Files, so I always think there's an answer for something. What is the answer that we can do, and how did this begin with? How did it start, and then what can we do to help?
The decline in the monarch butterflies started when pesticides started to become more prolific, and also just as humans, when we come in and we create urban and suburban habitats as we build our towns and cities, we naturally push out some of the native habitat of the monarch butterflies. And what we're doing about it now is we're actually encouraging the planting of the monarch's host food, which is the milkweed, and planting of nectar flowers, which is what they feed on in the butterfly stage.
So the Asclepias, the milkweed, is something that we do have a native here, but this isn't the native. This is something different, and it's pretty darn hardy here too, so it's easy to grow. Yeah. So you're saying that we could do a lot of goodness just by planting that type of milkweed.
Absolutely. Just by planting the milkweed, you need quite a lot of it because the caterpillars are very hungry.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful flower, and along with the nectar flowers, which include anything from lantana to verbena to lavender, which is stuff you want to have in your yard anyways. Yeah. You can really beautify your yard and create what's called a monarch waste station that gives them a nice stopping point on their journey down to California.
And you guys are even taking another step to get more information out about this. Tell me what that is.
We have a class coming up at the end of this month, and that's going to be in partnership with the Elkton Community Education Center. They specialize in monarch preservation, and they're going to be coming here for our Garden University series and giving a talk to folks who want to create butterfly and specifically monarch-friendly gardens.
So can I assume then, Dylan, that you guys are going to be selling that Asclepias here at the store?
Yes, we will. We will be selling 4-inch starter Asclepias. Nice. We're also going to have a small demonstration garden showing how you can create your own butterfly-friendly garden, and we're going to have a workshop in the afternoon for kids that'll involve making seed bombs with butterfly-friendly seeds.
What a lot of fun. So once again, the Oregon Garden has stepped it up and provided all kinds of information on how you can not only have a beautiful garden, but can also help that garden thrive along with parts of nature. So for more information, go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website and get all the listings available. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Thanks, William.
William, what are you doing?
Well, Judy, I am putting the shoes in the shoe caddy.
I know, but I have a better idea for a shoe caddy.
What's that?
What about using it for all the garden tools so they're all in one place in the garage and you know right where they are?
Well, that's very clever. I'm going to put some tools in there too.
And you know what else I like is, so I'm going to put all of my pruners right in a row in my hory-hory, but say that's missing, I know that pruner's missing, and I know go out in the garden and look for it before the end of the day.
And another tip is to make sure that if you're going to put pruners or things like this here, a hory-hory knife with sharp edges, don't put them in this way, because over time, each time you grab it, you'll end up poking through the plastic.
And it is a great idea, too, that it's all clear so that you know exactly what's in each of these pockets.
That's true. And you know what, Judy? There is one pair of shoes that goes very well here.
Ah, I see.
Garden clogs.
Great idea.
Welcome to Drake's, not your ordinary garden center. Grab a cup of coffee at Antonio's and wander the nursery for the perfect plant. Check out the landscape design showrooms for ideas, then meet with a designer. Come pick out a bouquet of flowers for dinner or for that someone special. Find something distinctive for your home or your garden. Imagine the possibilities and let Drake's turn them into realities. Drake's 7Ds on Southwest Shoals Ferry Road in Portland.
Is your old appliance wasting money? Cut appliance utility use up to 50%. Save now at Standard TV and Appliance on hundreds of Energy Star models. Get a Samsung front-load washer with steam for $574. Give the grid a break on an energy-saving Samsung French door refrigerator for just $9.99. Or get an E-Star Whirlpool dishwasher for only $359.
Save now, save later. Setting the standard since 1947. Standard TV and Appliance.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
Celebrate a spring tradition. Visit the Hulda Klager Lilac Gardens during the annual Lilac Days. Open daily from 10 to 4. See hundreds of blooming lilacs. Tour Hulda's Victorian home and gift shop. Take exit 21 off I-5 in Woodland, Washington.
Your garden is only as good as the ingredients you use. Black Gold can help. Black Gold all-purpose potting soil will provide moisture retention and good drainage. Plus, it is formulated with a controlled release fertilizer, so it will feed your plants up to 6 months, so you don't have to. Look for Black Gold at your local garden center, or go online to blackgold.bz. Black Gold, all the riches of the earth.
So it is a real delight for me to be here at Portland Nursery on Stark Street. I'm here with my good friend Laura. How are you, Laura?
Good, William. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And we are going to be talking today about plants that help us medically, and medicinal plants that we can use to really better our lives.
Yes.
I see the beautiful Rosa rugosa there, so let's just jump right in with that one.
It's leafing out right now this time of year, and I use to harvest a couple things off of it. One is the rose petals.
Okay.
I pick as they open up, and I put them in tea.
Yeah. Yep, that's really
Yeah, it's really delightful. Really adds. It's good for the heart and opening. And then I also make a rose hip conserve that I brought.
You brought some.
A spoon for you to taste.
Now, explain to me, because I'm no person of great skills in the kitchen. What is a conserve?
It's kind of like a jam, a runny jam.
Oh, that's really good.
Yes, and rose hips are really high in vitamin C. So imagine that on your toast in the morning.
That'd be absolutely delicious. Now, going on from that, I see, of course, our native kind of plant.
Yes, yes. This is Mahonia nervosa, or Oregon grape. It's getting ready to bloom.
Look at that.
Gorgeous. Thrives in dry shade. And once you get a big patch established, you harvest the roots.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it has a golden color, and it can help with phlegm. And when you're getting over a cold, it's really nice for that.
That's just, I would have never thought that. I would have thought flowers, but sometimes the roots are the key, aren't they?
Yep, and It's also good bitter for digestion.
Okay. Now, this looks like regular old yarrow.
It is regular old yarrow, and this is what I harvested from my yard a couple years ago.
From 2013?
Yes, it's been dried and kept in a cool, dry place, and I love fresh yarrow for stopping bleeding. So I chew it up and spit it out and put it on my wound. And then also, this I use in tea for fevers and when I have a cold.
So if you're out in the garden and you get a cut from a rose thorn,
yes,
you have this there, you just chew it up, you put it right on there, and helps with the bleeding.
There you go.
Very, very clever.
Yeah.
Now again, these both look like natives to me.
They are elderberries. They are actually cultivars of the European black elderberry, Sambucus nigra. You can also use our native blue elderberry, Sambucus caerulea. You harvest the flowers for teas for a cold, and you harvest the berries in the fall for making a syrup or teas, and it's fantastic for the immune system.
And it's nice that you can, I think that I heard you say this to me one time, that you can, if you get two of them, you get better pollination?
Yes, yeah, 2 different ones for cross-pollination on the black elderberries.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now there's some brilliant yellow down there. Tell me about that.
This is calendula that I harvested from my garden a few years ago. And I use this, I like to make oils and salves. It's got some antimicrobial properties, so it's great for scrapes and wounds and things.
And again, a plant that grows very easily for us in the Northwest.
Yeah, and it even reseeds, so you can get a population going year after year.
Now I'm seeing some books down there. Tell me a little bit about those as well.
Yes, this one is a great book about our native medicinals. Michael Moore, Medicinal Plants of the Pacific West.
So it specifically deals with what we're talking about.
Exactly. He's rather comical too. Okay. And then some catalogs for great resources to get medicinal seeds and plants online if you can't find them at your local nurseries.
Well, now, the last thing I wanted to bring up here, Laura, was that there are some really great 4-inch things. A lot of these almost look like herbs to me. Would that be accurate?
It
so
is.
A lot of herbs then are medicinal.
Right. Thyme is great for clearing the sinuses.
And this would be the time of year, I would think, please correct me if I'm wrong, that you would want to plant these items, because if you wait till like summer, then you have to wait even longer for them to be ready to use.
Spring and fall are the best times to plant your medicinals. Spring for your annual ones, of course.
And then too, you know, I mean, at Portland Nursery, you guys have such a huge selection of stuff. This really covers a very small amount of what you all offer in this arena.
It's true. It's a never-ending learning process. People go to schools. There's many schools in the area that will teach you about it and how the ethics and how to be safe.
Yes, and that's a big key. And you know, we've known each other a long time, Laura, and I have to say that no matter how much we know, do we not find there's always more to know?
It's very true, yes.
So if this interests you and you think, I want to get more information on this, I can't think of a better place to go than to Portland Nursery. Talk to their staff, pick up some of these great plants, and start a real healthy way of living in your own garden that maybe you had never thought of before. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, William.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
Since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
The health and beauty of your garden starts from the ground up, and healthy soils begin at Grimm's Fuel. For the best in garden mulch, blended soils, and bark dust, choose Grimm's. U-Haul delivered or installed, Grimm's can do it. And if you're looking for a new lawn, Grimm's can do that too with our special lawn installation service. Grimm's is also the area's largest recycler of yard debris. The foundation for a healthy garden begins at Grimm's Fuel.
Since 1926, Bonide has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Bonide has the answer. Looking for an organic weed control that is people and pet safe? Bonide has the answer with Burnout Weed and Grass Killer. Burnout has a fast-acting, all-organic formula. You'll start to see results within 24 hours.
Visit Bonide.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Bonide Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
Over the 30 years that our family has been in the nursery industry, we've learned that anyone can supply a customer with plants and garden supplies. But it's supplying those plants and supplies backed by a knowledgeable staff that can transform a garden and take it from ordinary to extraordinary. That's what we do at Sagawa Nursery. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
It's a beautiful day to be in the Columbia Gorge, and I'm with Rick Ray. And Rick, what is the organization that you're with?
I'm with Friends of the Columbia Gorge Land Trust, where I'm a trustee. The trust was started about 10, 12 years ago to buy important land in the scenic area from willing sellers to protect the resources or to allow public access to these special places.
So, and really it's open to the public, so we can go in, there's trails on many of these properties.
Some of the properties have trails, others may have trails someday, time in the future. There are some that we've purchased or are purchasing just for a special habitat, like to protect the western pond turtle, for example, which is an endangered species. But most of them will be available to the public, at least in part. There'll be at least a trail going through part of the properties. Friends of the Columbia Gorge was started in 1980 and worked to create the scenic area. And in 1986, an act of Congress was signed by Ronald Reagan, his only environmental legislation, and establishing a scenic area that stretches from basically the Sandy River on the Oregon side to the Deschutes River. And it really helps the local communities, especially with the establishment of our Towns to Trails vision, which is the idea, it's almost a European-style town-to-town hiking where you could start in, say, Hood River, go to Mosier, so you could spend the night there, have a beer after your hike. The next day you might be able to hike on to the Dalles. And so that's a 25-year vision to create that, and we have parts of it already, particularly around Mosier and in other spots in the gorge.
Rick, as gardeners, if we went up to, say, the Mosier Plateau, what would we see this time of year?
This time of year, you're going to see balsam root and lupin and moving into some bachelor buttons. Earlier on, you would have seen grass widows. Anytime you might see some wild lilies. It's really a show that starts back in March, sometimes even January, but March for sure. It's strong in April and May, and then the Eastern Gorge, which is where the Mosier Plateau is, dries out by the time summer hits. So spring is the best hiking season for the Eastern Gorge. The Western Gorge has a little bit later things.
And really, we want to remind people that you are a guest in these places, and so there are some just regular common sense kind of rules for us when we visit these places.
Right. They're wildflowers, and you want them to be there for the next person, so you don't pick wildflowers. And we've installed boot brushes at some of the trailheads, and that you'll see more and more both on public lands and on our private lands, where we're asking you before you go out onto the hike to brush your boots off so you don't bring in weed seed from species that might take over and outcompete the native ones.
And really, I've never heard of that before. So really, it's something that you're really thinking about the maintenance of these places and keeping it as nice as possible.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep the weeds out than to have to go back and hand pull them later.
Right, right. And speaking of hand pulling, I'm sure that there's some volunteer opportunities, or if we want to help, where would we go?
Yeah, so our website is gorgefriends.org, and you'll find information about Friends of the Columbia Gorge there, as well as the Land Trust, which is a subsidiary of the Friends. And there's a complete hiking guide to help you pick a hike with whether you want wildflowers, waterfalls, if it's a kid-friendly hike, but then also stewardship opportunities. And these are really fun, to go out with a group of folks and help either remove invasive species or an old fence that's cutting through a property. And it's fun, and you can pat yourself on the back after you've done it.
Yeah, well, you love to help. That's really, really true. And speaking of the Mosier Plateau, we're going to be going next and going out there to show you what it really looks like. Well, thank you so much for all the information.
Thanks for having me.
Well, now I'm on the very beautiful Mosier Plateau, and I have a special guest. I have Greg Leaf, and you have this great Wildflower website. And so what is that website?
It's OregonWildflowers.org.
And really, it's a great kind of a clearinghouse or an information about, you can find out exactly what's blooming where. People just kind of write in and say, I saw this beautiful flower at this site.
That's exactly right, yes. Anybody can file a trip report on flowers that they saw blooming at any particular time. Or, well, I do have a locations database of the most, I guess, famous wildflower locations in the state and also in Southwest Washington. So yes, it's a collaborative effort.
Ah, that is true. And so I like that you said you kind of started it out of frustration because you wanted to go where the flowers were, because you're also a photographer.
Yes, and I think I'm not alone in that. And yes, it's very frustrating to go to a specific wildflower location and get there too early or too late. So either the flowers haven't opened up yet or they're all dying. And that was really the main impetus for creating the site in 2007. And judging by the number of people that are using it, I think that there are a lot of people that are feeling the same way.
Yeah, so we took a little walk and a hike up here.
Yes.
And maybe 25 minutes or so, and we must have saw, I don't know, 10 wildflowers that are in bloom right now. And so what did we see?
Oh, at least.
If you can tell us some of them.
Well, at Mosier Plateau, the most impressive ones are balsam root, that is Northwest balsam root, and Columbia Gorge lupin.
And so we saw those two big ones. And so what are some of the smaller flowers?
Some of the smaller ones that we saw include fiddleneck, these little orange ones.
Mm-hmm, pretty.
Right here, which are everywhere. There are also prairie stars, which they're those, see the lupin? The prairie stars are those little white ones, sort of interspersed.
Okay, and we saw a clover that you thought was pretty unique.
Yes, yeah, up on top there are big head clover, which are low to the ground, pink and white, and they're native and they're really cool as well.
And two different kind of prairie parsley?
Desert
parsley.
Yeah, desert parsley. They're both in the Lomaceum family. In fact, let's see, where's...
We can get a photo of it?
Yeah, they're right over there. All that yellow is over there.
Excellent. So really, there's really quite, if you just stop and kind of look around, you'll see so many different ones all around you. So it's really worth time to come up for a hike or a walk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And in addition, from this location, there's a wonderful view of the river.
Yeah, you can't forget to see the river. Really, you have to look up a little bit and not just look at all the flowers, because the scenery is gorgeous too.
It is. And this is a not particularly crowded hike, which is also, it's a plus because many hikes in the gorge are very, very crowded. So, yeah.
And Greg, we want to remind people about etiquette on the trails and in these beautiful wild areas.
Yes, as I mentioned, care of dogs. If dogs are allowed, they really should be kept on leash. And as I mentioned, there are certain locations, particularly Nature Conservancy, where dogs are prohibited and people really should not break the rules. There are reasons for those rules.
Cleaning our boots?
Oh yeah, definitely. Cleaning boots. If the boot brushes are available, there's a growing number of those in the gorge and elsewhere. And if there aren't boot brushes available, then just bring an old kitchen brush or something like that and then clean them at home before you come out to the trail.
And don't pick flowers.
Absolutely. Do not pick wildflowers. The temptation is always there, but the flowers are not growing. It's not a public garden for people to pick from. It's a public garden for people to admire and to leave intact so other people can see them as well.
So just bring your camera really and come up and see all the beauty, but you know, it's a great idea to check first on what you're going to see or where you're going to see. So go to Greg's website and get all that information and bring out your family and friends and come for a hike. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Look at your home. Winter left behind grungy stained decks, walks, siding and lawn furniture. You know they look awful. Clean them all today with the original and still the best 30 Seconds Outdoor Cleaner. Since 1977, 30 Seconds has delivered clean when you want it clean. Easy to use, spray it on, wait, then hose away winter dirt, grime and stains from algae and mold. From our family to yours, thank you for buying 30 Seconds Outdoor Cleaner. Find it at leading home stores and garden centers.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney. We have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
What are you looking for?
Judy, I'm looking for the Garden Time Subaru.
William, it's right behind us.
And you can find it too. It's as easy as going to gardentime.tv.
So click on gardentime.tv and click on the Subaru. Each month the Subaru will be in a different location. Give us your best guess and you could possibly win.
Each month, one lucky person will be chosen from all the correct answers. Prizes can include a gift card to a great nursery, some wonderful tools, or other sweet prizes.
So go to gardentime.tv and help us find the Subaru.
Surround yourself with wonderful color this summer. It's time for the annual spring sale at Hydrangeas Plus. Hydrangeas are the perfect plant for any garden, large or small. We are cleaning out our nursery, so come and take some plants home to your garden. We're offering special once-a-year pricing on nearly everything we grow. Also, check out our selection of grasses and other blooming perennials. It's the annual spring sale at Hydrangeas Plus.
It is springtime and we are all itching to get out in our gardens and get the soil ready. I'm at Concentrates in Milwaukee with Heather. And Heather, we are in your warehouse right now and today we're going to be talking about adding natural and organic materials to our soils. So where can we start? What's the good things to add right now?
Well, we have all the components to organic fertilizers here in our bulk bins and 50-pound bags, truckloads in back in our wholesale department. So you can buy individual amendments if you know what you need, which you would know because you took a soil test, which we'll talk about, or we have it pre-mixed. Our organic fertilizer 553, we took the best of all these ingredients and mixed them together for you. So we've got everything that you could need.
And so you're talking about soil tests. So how important is that?
I think it's paramount because you're actually going to save money. You're not going to be applying nearly as much stuff as you were thinking of applying. There's a certain test we recommend. A&L Labs full graphical analysis with recommendations. We have a handout here with that information on it. Costs about $36. I guarantee you'll save more than $36 and you won't be over applying things, which is never good.
Right, and it'll tell you exactly what your soil is lacking or what you have too much in.
Exactly, which is even more important what you have too much already of.
Right, right. Well, with organic things, natural things, can you over apply? Can you burn things because I added too much alfalfa meal?
Alfalfa meal probably not, but you can burn with organic fertilizers, just not nearly as easily. You have a lot more wiggle room with organic fertilizers.
And then another attribute about organics is that the plants can take it up much more slowly. It's better for them.
Very much better for them. It mimics a natural system. They can do what they were meant to do. They're not being forced to do anything.
So Heather, let's talk specific. So let's go to the kelp meal. What would we be using this one for?
Kelp meal is a great tonic for plants in general. It's 003. It has 3% potassium, which we don't need much of, and more importantly, it's full of trace minerals, which are really great for the plants.
And then what would we add with that?
Most importantly, we usually need nitrogen. Once we've done our soil tests, sometimes that's all we need is that and lime. You could use feather meal or cottonseed meal for nitrogen. Feather meal is made of ground feathers. People always ask me that. It's got an NPK of 1200, so it's 12% nitrogen.
And then what's cool about this tool is it's byproducts of other industries, so you're actually using those things. And let's look at the cottonseed meal.
Cottonseed meal is a real pretty color. It's got an NPK of about 521, so you get some nitrogen, a little bit of phosphorus, and it's slightly acidic, so it's great for your acid-loving plants.
Oh, that's great. And then I see you also have blood meal and bone meal.
Blood meal is pretty much like feather meal. It's high in nitrogen. It's just always been a popular fertilizer, and it's there for you too if it's what you like to use.
And then with bone meal, I've always heard that, you can't use that if you have dogs because they're going to be digging up your plants.
It really depends. Most of my people do use bone meal or fish bone meal, and it seems to work well for them. It's high in phosphorus, so it's good for your roses and your tomatoes.
And so here at Concentrates, you have really a lot of things to choose from, and you have it in bulk, so we could bring bags, or you have bags here, so that's really cool. And then you have handouts, you have classes, really you're here to give education.
We really take that seriously, yes.
So we can go to your website and get more information too.
Yep, concentratesnw.com.
Well, really, if you're interested in this, and it's really the time of year to start adding these things to your soil, come on down to Concentrates, talk to Heather and her staff, and really get all the information for the season. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery. Gardening makes for wonderful family time. Whether it's updating your landscape or planting a veggie garden, at Portland Nursery, our great selection and staff of professionals can help ensure your family's success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of our classes, events, or sign up for our newsletter. Portland Nursery, let our family help your family grow at 50th and Stark or 90th and Division.
Do you want to garden more of the year? Then look no further than the Greenhouse Catalog. Our spacious Solex greenhouses provide plenty of room to start hundreds of plants. Get a jump on your spring garden and continue harvesting long after the first frost. Extend your growing season and enjoy mouth-watering tomatoes and fresh vegetables with Solex. Come see us in Salem for factory direct discounts. Find out more at greenhousecatalog.com.
Color, color, color. When you think of your garden, think of color. Then think of Margie's Farm and Garden. High quality plants and great customer service are our trademark. Bring the color back to your garden. This weekend, a flat of tray packs with 36 plants are just $15. Vegetables or herbs, hanging baskets or perennials, trust Margie's Farm and Garden, just off I-5 near Aurora.
Dram is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. Dram products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. Dram for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Since 1987, French Prairie Gardens has brought you the best in farm fresh produce, beautiful plants, and memorable family events. Spring is here, and now is the time to get your garden ready with our wide selection of bedding plants and hanging baskets. Check out our website for our upcoming events, a schedule of our garden dinners, and information about our CSA program. Experience the best the country has to offer at French Prairie Gardens.
Celebrate a spring tradition. Visit the Hulda Klager Lilac Gardens during the annual Lilac Days. Open daily from 10 to 4. See hundreds of blooming lilacs. Tour Hulda's Victorian home and gift shop. Take exit 21 off I-5 in Woodland, Washington.
So I'm out here with Alec, and Alec, you are the Oregon State University turf grass specialist, right?
That's correct.
So what we're going to be talking about today are some tips for the home gardener for their lawn, and some really simple things that you can find almost in any house to help make your lawn look the best it can. So let's jump right in there.
Okay, so this time of year we're entering perfect growth for cool season grasses in the valley here. We have really good surges in the spring and the fall. And if you haven't noticed, your grass is probably growing so fast that you need to be mowing it at least once a week, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about mowing height.
Okay.
And as we look at the mowing height, we can focus down on the ground here. We've got 2 different heights right next to each other here. We've got a 1/2 inch height, and then as we walk over here to the left, the grass goes up to 1.5 inches over here. So a typical homeowner in the Willamette Valley has probably got perennial ryegrass,
Okay.
which is what this grass is, and this is a good height for a homeowner, 1.5 inches. So problems associated with lower mowing heights, like over the left here, you see really heavy infestation of annual bluegrass and moss.
Okay, I do see
That's the moss here, and then the annual bluegrass here. And it's scattered throughout there. And as you go up to the higher height, those populations of annual bluegrass and moss drop way off from the higher mowing height. The grass is doing better. It's got a higher, thicker density. It catches the sunlight, photosynthesizes really well, and it's very healthy at this height.
Okay, now the other thing that I see if we walk back over here, Alec, is a screwdriver. Now, I don't have any equipment in my yard that requires that, so what do you use it for?
Okay, so one of the questions you'll often, or I will often get asked is, how frequently should I be irrigating my
Certainly,
lawn? How do I
yes.
know when the grass needs water? So you need to be checking the soil moisture content. Now, an easy way to do that is use a screwdriver or a pocket knife like this. We're going to come down to the soil. Typically in the Willamette Valley here, we'll have high content of silt and clay soil.
Okay.
So as the soil dries out, it gets harder and harder. And you know, I'm sure you've all come out and tried to dig a hole in the summertime.
Yeah.
It's like a rock.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I push this screwdriver into the soil, if it goes into the soil relatively easy, you have adequate moisture content. If it's like a rock and the screwdriver will not go in there, we need to add water till it loosens up.
So that's a really easy way to figure out if you actually need to water or not.
Right, right. And the other thing that's going to indicate is when you pull that screwdriver out, you're going to look at the surface of it and you'll see moisture on the surface of the screwdriver.
Okay,
there.
perfect.
If it's dry soil, it'll come out and this will be dry as well.
So now, there's just a couple of other things we're going to talk about, so let's get up, walk over there, and we'll do that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Alec, now we are over here, and it looks like a very short kitchen going on down here. So what is this third idea? What is this tip for us?
All right, so the third thing here is we're going to focus on some vinegar and some baking soda.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to use this to get a rough idea of the soil pH.
So I'm going to make an assumption here. If you're going to be testing the soil of your lawn, shouldn't it come from underneath your lawn then, not from a flower bed or something?
That's exactly right. You're going to have different inputs across the different areas
Sure.
of your lawn. So if you want to know the pH underneath the grass, you better test the soil underneath the grass.
Okay, so then you dig up a patch, maybe somewhere where you won't see it so much. Just dig up a little chunk like you're moving sod, get a scoop out. After you get that soil, what is it that you do with these containers?
As we move over here to the vinegar and baking soda test, we're going to take this soil, we're going to break it up into little fine pieces here.
And how much are you using, like a half cup, or is that really?
Yeah, it's about a half cup of soil.
Okay.
You know, the amount is not really important. So we're going to pour vinegar into
And what will that tell us? What will happen?
So vinegar is the acid, right?
Uh-huh.
And if you add that to a soil with a high pH,
Okay.
just like if you were to add these two together, they would make a fizzing reaction,
Certainly.
right? So the same concept would apply here. If you add the acid, the vinegar, to a soil with a high pH, it would fizz. And we don't see any reaction. That would indicate that the soil is not high in pH.
Okay.
So now we're going to see if the pH in the soil is low.
Okay.
And to test that, we're going to use some water and some baking soda. We're going to do a half a cup of water and a half a cup of baking soda.
And this isn't a souffle, so it's not, perfectly a half cup, but in that general area of water and soda.
Right, right. So we're going to mix those up together. We're going to pour it in here with our soil. We're going to put a lid on there.
Now the first one we didn't have to touch at all. It would have fizzed on its own. This one you shake up a bit.
Right, right.
It looks deliciously like chocolate milk right now.
Yeah, yeah, and we're
there's
gonna
no fizz.
we're gonna look for a fizzing reaction again, and again we don't see the fizz.
Now that's not necessarily a bad thing for a lawn, is it?
Right. So that would indicate that my pH is pretty good in this
Okay.
area. I don't need to worry about adding a lime to increase the pH or sulfur to decrease it.
Okay. So if you do see that fuzzing, whether the first or the second one, that's when you need to think, maybe I should adjust this a little bit.
Right, right.
Now, Alec, for our last one, it involves dish soap, which really, the brand doesn't matter, but you found out that lemon really works best for this next one, huh?
Right, that's correct. So What we're going to do here is use some dish soap to scout for insects in the lawn here. And the soap, when you apply it to the lawn, it coats the surface of the insect and irritates them, makes it difficult for them to breathe. And they climb up to the surface to try and get out of the soapy water.
Really?
And it turns out that for whatever reason, the products with lemon scent in them are the most irritating to the insects.
So they'll be miserable, but they'll smell good while they're going through their misery.
Right,
so that's important. Right. So is there a ratio? How do you know how much to put in?
So there is not a ratio, and you cannot kill the grass with the dish soap. So I'm just going to put a good amount in here, enough that when I put it down, I see bubbles. And what I'm looking for is areas with decreased density, areas that are brown or yellow. They don't look right compared to the rest of the lawn.
Okay.
So you're going to identify these symptoms first, and then you're going to come out and see if you can find some of the insects that could be causing these issues.
And this is what will help you do that. So you're not suggesting that you put it in a spray bottle and do the whole lawn. You go to the areas that are specifically suspicious.
We did a little bit of scouting earlier. We found
right here.
We found a couple different insects. That is
that one looks like it's just was getting rid of its old parts.
So that actually was the larva that we found. He was entering his pupa stage, and then he was hatching out of his old casing there.
And then there is the adult.
And there's an adult. And this is the common crane fly. Okay. So this crane fly lives in the valley here and is not actually a turf pest. The other one, the European crane fly, is the very damaging one.
Okay. So now, Alec, you're holding a different bug. Tell us about this that came out.
That's right. So these are bill bugs. You can scout them and then call a professional to make any applications if you do find high populations of this insect.
Wonderful. Well, you know, a lot of us that have lawns, we love them. We like them to look beautiful. We like to entertain out on them. One of the ways to do that is to use these 4 really easy tips to find out what's going on right underneath that beautiful green lawn of yours. For more information, we invite you to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to this website and get all your questions will be answered. Thank you so much for your time, Alec.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today. And don't forget to go to Oregon Wildflowers website and check out where you can go see the wildflowers blooming this weekend. Go out and take a hike and enjoy it.
And if you're not a big fan of hiking, just drive down to your local independent garden center and pick up some beautiful flowers, take them home, and put them in your own garden.
William and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.